Good morning, everybody. No, I'm not talking yet. Sorry. Yeah, my fault. Got a little distracted. New game dropped last night. I was grinding it this morning. Lost track of time almost. It's all right. We back. Just in time. Let's see. So today we're going to look for... Oh, I guess if you guys can see the screen now. I did go in early. 8:30 play. Short-term low cleared. Displacement above the 8:30 open. So this is pretty much just a clear-cut YouTube model. Right, short-term low cleared, bullish break in structure, fair value gap left behind as we break through that high. So we get long as soon as we return into that. Just targeting this little swing point here. So we'll see if 930 can give us some expansion. Obviously, I'd like to see us deliver higher. Risk is already cut though, so. X Defiant, the game is called X Defiant. It's basically like a Call of Duty dupe. 5-minute fair value gap here. So we're gonna watch this as well for the opening. Already positioned, so we should be able to just kind of watch. Ideally 5-minute fair value gap hold. So if we want to go lower to clear out short-term low and then expand again. We'll see. Want to see buy side hit though. If we go to a higher time frame, just real quick, for those that watched the recording yesterday, we spoke about how we We're good though, we're good. My mic keeps falling off my desk. I gotta set this shit up better. Where we at though? All right. What were we saying? Got me distracted and shit. Oh, okay, yeah. For those that watched the recording yesterday, market recap, we said we wanted to see Thursday's high be traded into, and I mean, look at this, right? Just beautiful algorithmic signatures. So we fall short first, and then we actually run perfectly right into Thursday's high. We retrace at that point, just back into some inefficiencies on like higher time frames. So after this retracement, I basically just want to see us continue to expand. Right? So that's the idea going forward. I like the idea of potentially coming back into this. At least this inversion right here. So we'll be watching for that. Notice consequent encroachment of the inversion is our buy side liquidity pool, which is why I like that as the potential target if we're on sides here. So basically we'll look for that. If we've performed a Judas swing at 930, would prefer we just run out these and don't really get any lower than that, right? Short-term equal lows here. There's 930. We'll see what we get here. And then this is just a classic kind of 5 handle. Small range this morning, so it looks a little larger, but right, that's only 5 handles if we're able to get into that swing point, which is why we have to really just hold the position the entire time. We have FOMC minutes later this afternoon, which we should be done before then, but we may run into some consolidation prior to that, so be prepared for another one of those days, potentially like yesterday. Yeah, minutes aren't until the afternoon, so. We'll show where we got long here. Right, so this candle here that returns into the 830 fair value gap is our entry. At this point, we didn't clear the equal lows. Wouldn't really want to see those be cleared now. Instead, use down close candle as support. Because if you look, we were being held at this bearish fair value gap. Right, that's what was holding us. We've closed above it. So now I'd want to see that be used as support and accelerate us into this buy side here. Kind of like we talked about yesterday. I can't remember who asked the question. But right, when do we kind of expect retracements and when do we not? Here's kind of an example of that, right? Even though we have inefficiencies like here, here, and here, because we've already cleared this fair value gap, I wouldn't really want to see us return this far. Of course, it's a little choppy opening, so we can't expect too much, but that's just kind of a scenario when I wouldn't want to see a deep retracement. Really waiting on the 5 minute. If the 5 minute can't close above, okay, yeah. So we weren't actually able to close above this 5 minute here. We close above consequent encroachment though. We often say that's an early indication that we should be allowed to expand. And this is actually a 1 and 5 minute fair value gap, so I like that. So at this point, we'd want to see this be a breakaway gap, actually leave these short-term lows for the time being until we maybe clear buy side, and then we can retrace on that. That's what we would really expect to see here. Can move that for now. Really playing off this 5 minute here. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Or are you saying you? Thanks if you're saying me. If you're going crazy, hey, go off too. I love when we all eat. So we got NQ absolutely said, let's go. Right, NQ flying. So I think we're good here. Six sister. We should see ES run up into our objective. And at this point, really, even though we haven't partialed, I'm fine going break even. And we'll wait for that run into our buy side here that we want to see. And then, now we'll chill out. I was like, and then we're done. But in reality, look, right, that's how easy it could be. Of course, we're going to hang out just because we're here. But for those that are trying to make a living, get your bread, boom, call it a day, right? That's all you got to do. Dunzo C, yes sir. Beauty. NQ clears the highs and is rejecting. ES needs to get to that high pretty quickly here or else. Right, because NQ just cleared high of day. So we're at a whole new high of day. Wouldn't want to see volume imbalance give way with bodies. Wicks can go lower, even into the 5 minute. Bodies, don't want to see bodies close under the 5 or the 1 minute fair value gap right here. Let's get us up into our buy side. He said I'm greedy. Fair enough. We're inside higher time frame inversion, which is why we're seeing hesitation, but we should be able to get through that. Right? Remember the original here, 1 hour inversion. We've created the volume imbalance right in line with the low of it. So I'd kind of like to see the low plus the volume imbalance hold us, deliver us into consequent encroachment. We should get into consequent encroachment, right? I like that, as we often say. Not random, too specific, too precise. Buy side liquidity paired with consequent encroachment of an inversion. Going to act as a magnet. So pretty confident that we can hold this and let it rock out. Move this again. We getting close. It's actually equal highs there as well. We can even drag this a little more to the left right here. All right, so we have two highs. Don't like that. As I said with NQ though, we're a little cautious just because NQ, dollar's going lower, which is good. Maybe putting in a reversal signature here. Don't want to see that breaker, right? We don't want to displace through this high. As far as NQ though, right, NQ's already cleared basically high of day. So we're at new highs here in NQ. Let me go back. Let me go to a higher time frame. A little easier to see. All right, so here, failed to clear this high. That's this high here in NQ. So we're way above there. I'd like to see Six Sister more than anything. So ES catch up rather than this hold as SMT in reverse. Back to the 1 minute now. As we said, we can wick into the 5 minute. As long as the bodies can hold here, that's fine. So we're still able to hold here. We do wick perfectly into that consequent encroachment. So as of now, still really showing what we'd want to see. Given a lot of test into this, but as we mentioned, kind of a choppy opening. So just like yesterday, you really have to commit to the idea and just have patience. We're already break even, so it's a risk-free trade. No need to feel any type of emotions. Just a matter of if we're right or if we're wrong. Hey, I'm glad, Diego. I'm glad it's able to transfer. That's all I want to do. Help out. Make it a little easier for me. Or for you. Not for me. What the fuck? Make it easier than I had it, I meant to say. Cool. So in all reality, right, we treat this as a fair value gap. So the same kind of ideas of repricing and rebalancing would play here, in my opinion. Where we said that we create the fair value or the volume imbalance, we reprice all the way lower, and then this candle closes back above. So ideally, I wouldn't want to see this low be broken, right? The low we're reaching for right now, because if we were to get underneath that, more than likely, we're not going to be able to hold from here. And we're going to kind of either consolidate or we're going to start retracing on ourselves and maybe come for these set of equal lows, right? These are obviously still very clean. Perfect equal lows, and then you pair that with an untapped inefficiency. We often speak about how this is a strong magnet on price. Lower time frame, you'll really see it, right? All these equal lows sitting there. And it's actually a volume imbalance as well. So if we do basically give up this discount, more than likely we retrace into here. We've closed under the volume imbalance, which is already kind of a bad sign. But because we have this 5 minute here, we can allow that to give us a potential, basically, area of support. And we've actually reclaimed a bullish fair value gap here as well. So reading into it quite a bit. We'll just kind of chill out for a bit and let it play out now at this point. Reclaiming that volume imbalance would be best case scenario, especially with the one candle chance. Close below very next candle, right? That's the one candle's opportunity to basically undo what we did with the last candle. And we're able to get back above. So I like that. As we said, this low here should be protected, right? If we're truly on side and in the bullish order flow, we shouldn't come back for this low. We get close twice, but we trust it. And now if we look at this low, what do we have? Well, we have a low here and a low here. So now this becomes kind of our new protected low, right? So you can see how we're just kind of following price. When in reality, right, we could even go in profit right here. If you want to be real aggressive, you can really go right here under this low. But I like that, as we mentioned. We have a good entry here. So we can kind of just let the trade breathe a little bit. Because even if we retrace all the way, we'll still be able to close a little bit in profit. So I'd rather give it a chance then squeeze the stop and get stopped out before we run again. And Q starting to retrace pretty aggressively. I don't really like, I don't like to see that at all. Actually, really aggressively. Pretty mixed opening here, actually. May not be a nice day, right? Look at this. So NQ clears previous day high, or creates a new high of day. And now we've actually came back out to clear the morning low. Second tap of that 5 minute. Yeah, because of that, because we're so out of sync, we're definitely going to give the stop room to breathe, right? Because we can run lows like this, manipulate, and still get into our buy side. So we're just going to commit to that idea and let it rock. Volume imbalance, still holding bodies, so. And especially with how aggressive NQ retraced, if we can get any type of bounce now, with ES being held, ES should kind of catapult itself into that buy side. Right, to me, I'm pretty convinced, have good conviction that we want to get into that buy side for the fact that it's not only buy side, but even if we want to get into a premium, right, consequent encroachment of that inversion is the same exact level. So let's say that all of this is just setting us up to retrace anyways. It makes sense to at least tap that level first. And to be honest, because of that, we're going to go like this. Practice what we preach. We want this high, but in case it hits it perfectly, which we've seen plenty of times, we're going to go one tick short. So still 5 handles. Cool. See, that's exactly why. Oh, we would have got taken out anyway. Oh well. So we're content with that. We're out fully there. Good little morning trade, right? Pre 9:30 bell. As we mentioned, really the original setup is coming off of 8:30. I like using the 8:30 framework if the setup is presented along with it. Right? Oftentimes the 8:30 is going to act as support or resistance in itself. So if we're creating basically signatures along with that, I tend to trust those, which is why in this case I didn't need to wait for confirmation, because to me we already had that in the form of us clearing the short-term low, creating the market structure shift, and leaving the fair value gap. And then, right, we also left behind lows. So prior to me getting long here, we had tried to get into it. We leave equal lows, even better, as well as highs. Right, so we're really engineering buy-side liquidity, and we're engineering sell side so we can pick up the sell side to then reverse and attack the high that we wanted to see here. No swing low or swing high. Sloppy. That's all right. Cool. As we mentioned, the 5 minute does become a breakaway, right? We didn't want to see that be traded into once we close above here. We also hold that low perfectly. Right? Beautiful precision there. Notice the candle bodies, as we said. We get below it here, one candle chance to get above, we do. Once we do that, can't get back below it. Beautiful run into buy side. Now, however, let's kind of readjust our targets and sights. What can we reach for? Well, right away, obviously, right, straight edge jumps out here. We can get into that. New day opening gap is right above that as well as untapped inefficiencies. So I like the idea of new day opening gap. OB there as well. Yeah, I like that. 1 hour. High of the inversion. So yeah, we still have room to the upside, I think. Especially since we've closed above, we would actually look for this fair value gap here to hold us now. So just looking for continued bullish expansion, right? One tick short is my jam. Oh, that's why I play now. We've been burned too many times. We realized. And like here would be another stacking position. As we mentioned earlier, we wouldn't want to see deeper retracements into these fair value gaps because we cleared this one, right? So the same idea is here now. We have a fair value gap here. Personally, I wouldn't want to see that be traded into because we've gotten above consequent encroachment. And we have a volume imbalance here. We have a fair value gap here, and we have a volume imbalance here. Pair that with consequent encroachment, pair that with an old high. So in my mind, those discounts should hold us at least until the high of this inversion. And then maybe once we hit that, then we can give a deeper retracement. But prior to that, right, I'd rather leave this open. Because in reality, it's already balanced, right? From this low to this high, we retrace down and then we get through the high again. So I'm seeing this almost as a balanced range of price. And lo and behold, right, the high of these candlesticks is also the high of the volume imbalance right here, which is why I'm really saying I wouldn't want to see much lower than that volume imbalance. Let's see if that plays out there. I kind of want to see the anatomy of this fair value gap real quickly. Because if we have levels that align with that, we may want to actually give that a test. Yeah, like the first quarter level. So we do have that, right? Notice this level here is perfectly aligned with the low of that. So even though I would favor this stay open, we may actually need to go back down into that. We'll see. In extremely bullish conditions, we wouldn't expect that. But because we're already showing that we're pretty choppy, we can actually allow a little bit of a deeper retracement now that we think about it. So I like this as our next kind of buy side objective. If we can get into that. Think it will retest the all-time high during regular trading. Let me go high time. No. All-time high. I think if we can reclaim this 1 hour fair value gap that we're within right here. Bullish, we overtake that bearish, right? This becomes our inversion, as we said. So in reality, we're really in bearish order flow, higher time frame wise, right? We're inside of a premium. If we can reclaim this and close above it bullishly, I think we can actually go ahead and test these highs again. But it really depends on what we do here. So what we're watching to see is basically the last two discounts prior to us reaching into this fair value gap. If we start closing below those, right, we could almost treat that as an inversion play to follow. So then you'd go like that. But yeah, I'm not too confident in all-time highs right now. Maybe news. If we get close, maybe the news. Because it's just minutes, right? It's not true FOMC, which is a lot more aggressive, but we'll see. So far, so good, as we said. Ideally, we go from here. We hold this. We were priced perfectly into it. And what do we speak of? Okay, so now we've repriced into this fair value gap. We get into the discount we want to see, and this candle closes above the fair value gap. That becomes balanced. We shouldn't get below that, to be honest. And we've closed above these candles opens. All right, so we're closing above the bodies. We've hit the high. I mean, that's just perfect delivery right there. Right, I mean, that's quite literally perfect. Like, that's kind of crazy. After hitting the high, now we can come into this if we want to. Right, that makes sense. But yeah, that's, as I've said, it just never gets old, to be honest. Seeing it play out as you expect. To the exact levels. So now at this point, if we actually were to close below this, I think that's bearish. And we may want to attack sell side that we've left behind now. We'll wait and see. Closure above, we should be able to reach into new day opening gap at least. Who was that yesterday, though? That was asking. When I sat down, I saw us accepting below the 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, when I saw us sit down, I saw us sitting below. I'm guessing you're talking about this here. Just want to be sure. Is this the 15-minute you're talking about? 3 p.m.? Okay. So that's a fair question. For me, honestly, I did not put much weight into that PD rate at all. Because what I was really looking at was simply just the 8:30, right, and kind of higher time frame. So we'd already got below the hourly, and there's no really other inefficiencies in this hourly price leg. So I wasn't putting much weight into the fact that we had closed underneath this 15-minute. And now that you say that, I really wish, that might be like a subconscious thing. Because I like, honestly, I didn't even notice that at all. Which I'm thinking I saw it, but I didn't put much weight into it. Because like you said, right, the long setup that had formed was really too clear cut to ignore. And we had already picked up sell side here. So there's almost like a hierarchy of PD raise, I guess. Opening prices, to me, are always a little more important, right? So the midnight open and the 8:30 open specifically. I'll always put a little more weight and emphasis into those than, let's say, like, right, random fair value gaps or things of that nature. I did notice, however, that the 8:30 level was exactly this old fair value gap. So that's why I was okay. Right, so didn't care about this 15, but this 15-minute that held us, right, when we get above it, that becomes balanced. So as we retrace into it, it should hold us again, and it did. So that's really what I was playing off of, was that we came into it while clearing a short-term low. We got above it. A little bit of consolidation, but then same thing, right? We clear a short-term low, we create the YouTube model inside of an area that we would already expect to hold us. We're aligning PD arrays. 8:30 open is exactly the high of it. So all in all, pretty clear cut there. And then the second entry, right, if we weren't comfortable there, would be really this 5-minute. That would require a little more, like 5 handles. Yeah, we would have to get into new day opening gap, which we might still be able to, so we'll see. Equal highs, just below liquidity and an inefficiency. Would be very surprised if we did not give those a go. Dollar has continued to sell off a little bit, really consolidating here though. NQ really kind of seeking the short, to be honest. High, low, higher, high, lower, low, higher, high. We'll see if NQ can't run. As we mentioned, now that we've hit the high of that fair value gap, we can actually retrace deeper into these discounts here. If we want to get buy side first though, right, this is our established support zone. So it should hold us more than once. Cut through candles, right, volume imbalance paired with old high. Old highs act as support when broken through in the right conditions. As we said, once we reprice and move away, these become balanced. We don't want to see less than consequent encroachment. Well, we hit consequent encroachment to the tick, right? So once again, perfect delivery. If we're bullish, now we should reach right through these highs and attack this candle or this liquidity within the next two candles, right? Because we've already cleared the sell side and we've hit the discount. So now we should be allowed to kind of release if that's our objective. Yo, I swear coffee makes me more tired. Does that make sense? Jeez. Just be. Looks like we now have 15-minute breaker block. Close, yeah. I like it on the 5 a little bit more. 15 is a little sloppy with it. Let me kind of look real quick. So 15-minute, you do have low, high, lower, low. Broken. Huge wick though. So in reality, right, like the breaker in this price leg, would this be this candlestick right here? Highest close. I like the 5-minute personally. Low, high, lower, low. Because now it gives us the breaker up here. Draw that out. That pairs with the old high. I mean, in all honesty, you could even go this low to this high. All the way back down to this low. That gets displaced. This one singular candle here you could see as a breaker. Right, and you'll see that it's holding us, to be honest. So yeah, a lot of things here to support us. I found personally, right, and of course this is, like I said, personal preference. After basically spending so much time with all the PD arrays, that fair value gaps really are superior. Beautiful. Look at that. I mean, come on now. Just perfect, right? It's perfect every time. Absolute perfect delivery. Never gets old. Right, we return into the volume imbalance perfectly. We then clear the equal highs, as we said. Once we trade into this, we want to hit new day opening gap. We hit new day opening gap perfectly. Just beautiful. Just all beautiful. But anyways, like I was saying, fair value gaps for me, really all I need to rely on. Because I could see breakers, right? I could see order blocks. But more often than not, if we're truly on side, those breakers, those order blocks are going to have fair value gaps that are aligned with them. Right? So like, here's a clear-cut example. This is a breaker. You could use the breaker itself, but what's aligned with it? I mean, a fair value gap, right? Perfectly. So you can just utilize that. Even like here, we had a breaker in here. But the 5 minute or the 1 minute fair value gap itself gives you confirmation that we can now trust the breaker to hold. Coffee used to make me tired as well. Wait, what does black coffee have more caffeine or what? That's just like without cream and sugar, right? That's what you mean? That makes sense actually. I just started about a week ago trying coffee. So I'd be putting hella like cream in it. What's that probably is what makes me tired. The sugar rush is probably just all sugar. In Norway, you need to drink a lot of coffee. Why is that? It's a requirement. If you're Norwegian, you must drink coffee. That'd be comedy. Just one of the laws there. All citizens must drink coffee. All right, now that we've hit that, I don't really have... let's see. We're just in a small range. That's what's tough. It's like, obviously, right, we're following price here pretty to the tick. I mean, it's doing pretty much exactly what we want to see. It's just not worth taking any entries because the range is so short. Like, even if we try to enter here, we could have got 5 there, I guess. Like, here's another clear-cut entry. We would need to get into previous day high. We watch this, though, as a potential inversion play here. Yeah, I'll try that. It's just so bitter, brother. I took a sip of it without putting anything in there once, and I was like, whoa. Whoa. But fuck it. Just got to ball out. Get over it. Don't be soft. Oh, yeah, large one. It's right underneath this. Right, the high of the 15-minute is this volume imbalance right here. So I like that. Basically just looking for the volume imbalance to hold. So we don't want to get thrown off sides by a potential bearish play here. Because we have the large fair value gap. And for those that are unsure, right, talking about this 15-minute right here. Can move this one for now. Just to give you a perspective. And we've closed above, this is our 1 hour, correct? We didn't. So we weren't able to close back above this hourly. We get above its consequent encroachment though. So to be honest, I'd like to see that consequent encroachment hold us. But let's see how these two fair value gaps kind of play with one another. So we got the 15 here. And now we got the 1 hour here. So as we said, higher the 15-minute is the volume imbalance. If we're being honest, this would kind of be where I would expect, like if we're extremely bullish, we'd want to see the institutional order flow on a 15-minute chart. And what that means is we barely tap this fair value gap and continue to move higher. And I'd like to see that because if we actually look at the 15, right, within this 15-minute fair value gap here, this price range is really all balanced, right? That's that BPR that we were talking about as to why we didn't really expect a deeper retracement here. So I'm still really holding that idea true to where even though we have the 15-minute, this is when like institutional order flow entry drills form. Because if we were to return into this, we wouldn't have to go very deep into that at all. And that's why you see, really, it looks like the 1 hour itself is holding us more than anything. The 15 is here, but the 1 hour consequent encroachment, that's what it's being held, right? The bodies are holding that. So I like that, actually. And now we've closed back above this 1 hour. So we should actually accelerate through this high. Because that's the second time now. We close above it once. Second time we're closing above it here. We'll see, we'll see. Interesting. Yeah, just something to kind of think, right? Something to look at, something to think over. It's all fractalized. It's really like the Matrix, to be honest. Right, once you start seeing, you could see into each candlestick and you can picture what the candlesticks look like inside of them. And that's why, kind of like yesterday when anti-retail was asking, right? That's how we can pick and choose really which fair value gaps we expect to trade into, which discounts. Fair swing here. So we're trying to, so first tap there, now we're in the 15-minute. So to me, as we said, I don't think we would need to retrace very deep into that if we're bullish, right? If we want to continue bullish. So really just the high of it, right? This volume imbalance that's right here. Let's say that we were to close underneath the volume imbalance and this bullish fair value gap. I actually think we give it a little deeper retracement, right? So maybe all the way back down into like consequent encroachment of that 15-minute fair value gap. But ideally, if we are correct in our thinking that we want to remain extremely bullish, this is really as low as we would go before running out of high again. We do have to understand that we're running into opposing PD rays, we'll say, right? So on one hand, we have bullish order flow being put into play, and that's kind of what we're wanting to see if that continues. Short term, 1 minute, right? We see that. But really, in the higher time frame sense, let me clear this. As we said, we have this inversion. We haven't closed above it yet. And we've actually retraced into this premium fair value gap from this leg high to low. So we're really inside of two premiums on a higher time frame while putting in bullish order flow on a lower time frame. So at this moment, I would really just be sitting on my hands. Right, pair that with the fact that we already mentioned we're in a smaller range and we have a winning trade today. I'm not in a hurry to give that back. We're at an area of price that we are tending to, or we can consolidate here for quite some time. So really it's more about just tape reading and seeing if we can be on side with our analysis. Today kind of scary, yo. He said, what? Why is it scary? Not scary, just boring. I could see it being scary. I lied, I take that back. Early on, it was definitely scary for me too as well. These are days I'd be absolute lost. Or like seeing like wicks like this and stuff. I'd have no idea what's going on, but fortunately, through the years, we've been able to almost see any type of price action unmanageable. Which is really what allows us to do this now. Yeah, dollar is giving a nice little retracement. Kind of at the point though where not really putting too much weight into the other two today. We'll think about it a little bit, but as we already saw earlier, they're tending to move in sync. Out of sync, excuse me, not in sync. And NQ is actually way worse than ES this morning. Right, ES at least got the resemblance of bullish order flow, while NQ is just kind of, we're all over the place here. This is more seek and destroy, as we said. High, low, higher, high, lower, low. Higher, high, lower, low. Higher, high. We might want to make a lower low. If we do that, though, then ES can close underneath the volume imbalance. What do we think here? We'll talk out loud. We're thinking, okay, well, dollar is obviously retracing. I don't like this type of retracement, however. Right, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Because now all we have here is trendline liquidity to attack. So dollar really at any moment can shit the bed and run right through these lows. Which is why, again, I'm not really putting too much emphasis on what the dollar is doing at the moment. As we look at NQ, NQ is lost. So, I mean, if we had to say we've closed above this fair value gap, so we should hold that bullishly as an inversion. But that's just ugly price action. And NQ really the most bullish out of the three. So I actually wouldn't mind NQ run for highs while dollar runs back on all that trendline liquidity that we spoke of. That would be what I would want to see. Is that we're going higher, we dive right through all these lows, which propels ES right through the high. As we were saying, didn't need to get below the volume imbalance. Because why? It's already balanced here. Right? We have no need to get back into that area if bullish order flow truly is what we're reaching for, because we've already balanced this area. So even though there's a higher time frame fair value gap, this is when we wouldn't expect deeper retracements into it. Instead, run out the high again, and then maybe we can retrace if we want to. But I'd like to see this high first. Yeah, I did do that actually. And that's something that I'll do usually in the afternoon. Because as I mentioned, price tends to move a little more conservatively, right? So it'll revisit fair value gaps a lot of times, which is why I was okay doing that. But right, still the same thing though, even though I was showing the 5 minute, it was really the 1 minute that gave me the confirmation to go ahead and long there. And right, I guess we'll just show, we should run into this. I mean, if we do whatever, we understand that's what we're looking for. But right, if we go to yesterday's afternoon entry here, so we are utilizing that 5 minute, which was here, right? That was pretty clear. I mean, it was a very obvious fair value gap. Same idea too, where we don't expect this one to be traded into. But as we look at that 5 minute, inside of that, right, I'm looking at this 1 minute here as well. That's the same exact high. So as I saw the 1 minute and 5 minute, I'm simply waiting for confirmation that we want to hold. That comes here, right? We reprice into the low, we close above it. And that right there is simply the entry signal. So a lot of ways to enter, right? Entering becomes really the easiest part once you figure out where price is going to go. And then here, that was just obviously another clear cut setup, but we left that one out. Running into that consolidation, really as we expected, right? We have new week or new day opening gap. We've cleared some buy side liquidity. We're at a 1 hour fair value gap, bearish. High, low, higher, high, broken. In reality, this down close candle here can be seen as a breaker as well. So yeah, not surprised by the consolidation. We're probably near equilibrium as well. Yeah, right. So equilibrium's right here. Lo and behold, we're just going right up and down right through equilibrium. So we may be cashed out, but we'll chill. At least until like 10:30, 10:40. See what the full morning range does here. Let's clear this. I've already hit the buy side. Don't really need that. God damn, brother. God damn, brother. Well, let's see if we get something here. Yeah, still holding. Dollar is attacking all those lows that we spoke of, so playing out kind of like we wanted to see. Just want to see ES really expand. All right, dollar reaching for lows. Closure below this, as we said, I think that's more bearish. So we have just closed. So now I immediately want to see. We give it one candle's opportunity to reclaim the two basically discounts we've closed below. The fair value gap and the volume imbalance. If we can't do that, I think we want to revisit some lows here. But as we said, give it one candle's chance, right? Especially because we're opening with a bullish volume imbalance. So if that can remain open and we close back above, that could still play out well. We've closed underneath the 1 minute or the 1 hour consequent encroachment as well. So not really a fan of either of those, which is why we would want to see price reclaim those quickly. If anything, hold the body with, or hold the volume imbalance with this candle's body. We'll see. Because if we continue to close below it, I think we may want to continue to push. So that's the second time we've closed below it. So now my attention would actually go back towards, okay, the 15 minute. So I pull that back up. That's here, and I think, okay, well, we got the volume imbalance. Consequent encroachment of the volume imbalance is consequent encroachment of the 15-minute fair value gap. If we can't reclaim these premiums, discounts turn premiums, then more than likely we want to revisit that consequent encroachment of the 15. I still like and I still hold on to the idea that we truly don't need to get much lower than that. Right? Because although the 15 is large, lower time frames explain and show us that there's really no inefficiencies in that price delivery. This was the last one, right? That's what we've hit perfectly here. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Right, still expecting the institutional order flow entry drill. So not looking for anything lower than this. That's exact, I mean, once again, right, perfect delivery. Closure above this one, that's closure above 1 hour consequent encroachment, leaving behind a volume imbalance. That's almost an entry material right there. But as we stated, just the range is too small today for me. We could probably target, even if we were like targeting midnight, wouldn't even be 5. So we'd have to go all the way, which we may actually want to do that. But this is a pretty interesting area here. Midnight level, swing high, and untapped inefficiency, and volume imbalance. So midnight may be what we're reaching for. We may try this out here actually. Volume imbalance. Dollar expands. NQ consolidate. It's just so hideous. We'll go in tiny risks though. I like that idea. 0.25%. basically half risk from what we usually do. Right, one handle stop. We're zoomed in, so it kind of looks like price is moving a decent amount, but if we zoom out, right, we're really in a tiny range right here. Still in a small range, so. One handle stop for a little five handles. We're not even gonna go for 5. We're just gonna go for midnight. I'd like to use volume imbalance. We do a fair value gap. Because we're so choppy, I'd prefer a deeper retracement into volume imbalance. So leave the fair value gap be. This is where we could actually paint outside the lines of that fair value gap, and I wouldn't mind too much. All right, so we get tapped in. Let's see if we can be either right or wrong quickly. That's all we really care about. Right, quick reaction. Already, we would expect more of a wick here. So we may be in trouble. We'll see if this candle can wick. But like when we enter, we would want to see simply a wick and for us to actually hold the fair value gap here. Right, that would have been best case scenario because now we have created an inversion. As we said, though, we can paint outside the lines of this one a little bit because we're kind of in a choppy condition. So we'll see if we can't overtake that. If we can overtake it bullishly, that'd be best case as well. Good case, right? Best case hasn't played out. That'll be second best case scenario. You're telling me we couldn't get a swing low entry though? That's disrespectful. So to be honest, we're gonna partial at this high, which is 3 handles, which is nothing, but oh well. We take what the market gives. Sell 1 at buy side. That's partial. If we could have closed above that candlestick, this down close candle, we would be in a good situation, but unable to, so we don't like that too much. At this point though, position doesn't get touched, so once we partial, we'll go break even. If not, we get stopped out. Right, we understand it's a higher risk trade. So we understand we're gonna have to sit through a little bit of chop if we're gonna wanna hold this, which is why we go in with lower risk. Go in with less risk and quicker to secure profits here. No, we cannot do that. He said, wanted to see if I could pass 250K with news. This guy, you're about to go balls out again. Yo. Oh shit, you cracked me up. He said, fuck it, we ball, baby. News. News is until what? We got like 1 o'clock, right? We got a few hours till then. Oh, okay. I was like, what? So he's trying to be legit. I see. He said, we'll try to be legit here. All right, I don't even like we'll cut and risk even more. Nah, we're not. 1/4%, we could eat 1/4%. That's nothing. On NQ, hopefully you went, I don't even know, short. I'd say short, to be honest. I really couldn't tell you. Dollars going higher. Now we can almost trust that move in dollar. Okay, let's go to dollar quickly. So we clear lows, but now we put in equal lows, clear displacement, and hold the discount. But ES is also getting held here, which is making me think we're just manipulating here in the dollar to run out some equal highs, and then we may want to go lower again. And Q, on the other hand, holy shit, this is way worse than ES, brother. I wouldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you what to. I mean, let's see. Nah, we're kind of doing the same idea. Holding the lowest discount. Fuck it. Fuck it, we ball. I like it. Let's leave it. Partial out. VWAP. Oh, shit. Buddy pulled out the VWAP. Can't hate. To each their own. I used to mess with the VWAP a little bit. VWAP, SMAs, all that. I found just for me though, I gotta go bear chart. You know what I mean? No indicators. I guess we do have indicators, but no like indicators like that because I play too much into my decisions. I'm almost like we should just close fully at this high. Fuck. Like, let's think for real. Since we've hit that objective there, in 30 minutes, we've moved a total of 4 handles. Love that for everybody. Oh my goodness. That looks kind of crazy, but hey, if it works, it works. You know what I mean? If it works, it works. That's really all there is to it. Whatever happens here, we're getting. That'll be it for the morning, by the way. So if we get stopped, we're good. Partialed out, TP, we good as well. It's all good, baby. It was all a dream. Damn. Sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully you're feeling better. Yeah, for real. Guess it's a good time to catch some refreshers at least. Not a bad idea though. Damn, 5 herniated discs. Fucked up. I'm gonna have to get a spinal fusion. I broke my back. Spinal. That shit would suck, man. We'd be taken for granted just being healthy, you know what I mean? Big ass eat the head, big small speak. All right, at this point, get me out. Come on, get me out or get me in. You know what I mean? I don't even want to. I don't even want to get to midnight. We'll just go in here. Little 1 to 2. We'll zoom in. That becomes buy side. Facts. That's a huge part. A good chair, brother. That shit makes all the difference. The Herman Millar. You don't even have to get something that fancy. I got a Herman, but I got it for a pretty good deal, to be honest. An extremely good deal, to be honest. Oh my gosh. Jeez, dude. That's scary, fuck. Yeah, I was like, wait, what the hell? So you spun and everything? Hmm. Hell yeah, that's scary. That's no fun at all. 90? Oh, so you're in the back. That's not your car then? That's her car? She hit y'all from behind? Oh, hers is the middle one. Oh shit, okay, okay. She hit everyone. I was gonna say, Jesus. That is sketchy. On like a busy highway like that. Just cause a huge fucking pile up or something. Hmm. Yeah, scary. Scary times. Jeez. Hey, the Volvos are tanks, to be honest. One's like the best rated safety vehicles. God, what a dummy. What a dumb girl. That's why we all need autonomous vehicles. So that can't happen. All right, it's getting crazy. We got. We'll give it 10 minutes. This is just making me sleepy, man, watching this. Literally gonna make me fall asleep. this. Right? Isn't this fun? High pace, thrilling action. That's what people don't understand. When you do this for a living, it's boring. Like, I've said that plenty of times. Satisfying, right? Always love seeing precision elements, perfect levels, perfect price delivery. But that thrill, like that excitement you had as like a young trader, at least me personally, like when I'd get in trades, I would be actually excited. Heartbeat increase. Whereas now, it's just that, right? Just another job. Very fortunate job, of course, but just a job. Stop me out and end my misery. But here's another way to kind of watch price action, right? As we said, okay, thank you. We out. We're content with that. End me. Yeah, at this point, we're good. We're content with what the day has given. No actual trade here. That was simply paper. Only actual trade of the day there. Right, as we said, didn't want to give anything back. Tiny range. I mean, look at NQ. What is that? Yo. People that just started trading, they're like, nah, you can never trade. No one ever does this successfully. That is crazy. What's YM looking like? Yeah. Ugly all around. We're going to start moving though. We didn't close below that. So honestly, we're still holding that fair value gap. Kind of want to see if we close below this. Ooh, we were able to close below. Left behind bearish. Yeah, at this point, I think we get into the low of that 15-minute, if that's what we're reaching for. Well, we've hit the low of the hourly right now. Nah. To be honest, fellas, we're just at a point in time where we can try to force something, but sometimes it's best to just walk away. And that's what we're going to do. So we can see the bearish formation setting up here. We may retrace back into this, but as we said, we don't need to be involved in every move. At least I don't. And I'm fine letting price move without having to be involved. So we're going to wrap it up here for today. Quick recap, only trade of the day. Right, 8:30 play we mentioned. So we already have an established discount we're working within. We then clear a short-term low here. Slight consolidation, and then we put in the YouTube model within our established discount, leaving behind a new discount fair value gap that we can use, paired that with the 830 level. We like that a lot. So we go ahead and get long as we tap that. And then we're able to get out just at right the high, the equal highs is what we targeted there. So buy side liquidity paired perfectly with the 1 hour consequent encroachment becomes our objective. And we're able to go from low up into that high nicely. Now that we've hit that, right, we spoke about how we would hold this fair value gap until we hit the new day opening gap. We do. Now that we've hit that, just stuck in a consolidation. So we'll let price play out, right? If we want to continue to consolidate, that's fine. If we want to run in either direction, that's fine as well. Yeah, we'll leave y'all with that. Going forward, I mean, if you're someone that's going to kind of trade through lunch and things like that, I still think if we can hold this fair value gap here, we may be able to come back up for the high now. So what I would watch is, right, the same thing that we watch for in like lower time frames is now that we've traded into this and that we've hit consequent encroachment here, if the 15-minute candlestick can close back above this fair value gap, I think that's a good sign that we'll be able to use it as support. So now if something on the lower time frame aligns with that, I wouldn't mind actually trying to go ahead and use that to get long into this buy side here, and then really the original targets. Midnight, untapped inefficiency. And then if we're real ambitious, maybe we can go for yesterday's high as well. Oh no. Damn, brother. I'm surprised that you didn't have to go to the hospital or nothing. Was it like multi-car? How many cars were in the accident? Before I go, just gotta know. Now I'm invested. Oh, no. Fair enough. Fair enough. Unsatisfying ending. I got enough. Damn, that's tough. $6K, fuck. I mean, I guess that's better than nothing at all. But still. Where's the money that made me a savage? Okay. Yeah, we're done. We'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Let's see what time. Tomorrow we got 9:45. I don't think that's high impact news. 10 o'clock? Let me double check. Cool. All right, yeah, we'll come back 9:40 then tomorrow. So just before this high impact news at 9:45. So slightly later, but not too much later than normal. We'll meet up tomorrow morning at 9:40 a.m. Eastern. Until then, everybody, have yourselves a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and we will talk tomorrow morning. See you guys.